The man came back, but only in a casket. This is not his failure. This is our story.
Hello everyone, I want to say thanks for joining this channel. If you have not yet become a subscriber, please do so. It takes a lot of time to bring content to you. I don't want to be in the hype. I want to be talking about things that are essential, cultural, historical, and sometimes I'll touch on the technology because I think if we're on a learning journey, these are some of the areas we must address. Now, let's get in. This topic is something that affects individuals who are across the globe, who are connected to Jamaica. So if you are in that connection or that link, or even if you're a Jamaican living in Jamaica thinking of going abroad, these are some things that you must think about. Now, let's get started. Now, a few months ago, I was at a funeral. The man being buried had left Jamaica for 52 years. 52 years ago, he left Jamaica. He went to Brooklyn when he was in his 20s, strong, full of dreams. And of course, he told himself that he would save for a few years and then he was coming back. What do you think happened? What do you think happened? He never came back. Not even for his mother's funeral. Not even for his father's funeral. Not even for his sister's wedding or her children's christening. But notwithstanding, he did send back barrels. He sent back money by Western Union. He sent back voice notes saying, "Mama and Dada, I love you." But he never came back to spend time until he came back in a casket. How many people have we known that have come back in casket and they have not visited Jamaica for years? As I watch his American children, the reality is that they didn't even know the father's house that he grew up in. I realized that something was off. I wouldn't say wrong, but this is not a failure. I want to say that this is a story, but we don't talk about it aloud. A story that every Caribbean person who goes away, who left when they're young, are now thinking up all about this. You left when you're young, but suddenly you wake up and now you're old. Your bones are cracking as you walk. You left with suitcase full of dreams, a heart full of promise. Just for a few years, you said. Just to establish yourself in America. You got a degree. You got qualifications. You got a skill. You got a job. You got a green card. You got married. You divorced. You got married again, sometimes 3 or 4 times. But then you go home. The story of every Caribbean people or person, every migrant who left young, woke up old. We left with suitcases full of dreams and hearts full of hope, promise. And when I'm talking about promise, we can see that at the airport when they had a waving gallery. Remember those times? You all saw that. Just a few years, you said. Just enough time to establish yourself. Get a degree. Get a job. Get a green card. Get that house that you wanted. And then you go home. That was the plan you had. But time doesn't wait for migrants. Time doesn't respect your plan. A year passed. A year became a decade. And of course, you had decades after. Several things happened. Children were born. You found yourself with mortgages. And of course, you were attached to them. Careers were built. And home became a place that you thought of instead of a place that you wanted to go back to. We ask ourselves, why are we building something? We told ourselves that we were building something. We told ourselves that we were sacrificing. Sacrificing as it relates to the American dream. A friend of mine said to me, it's an American dream and that's why you're always dreaming. We told ourselves that one day we'll return home. But you know what? You didn't put that one day on the calendar. You didn't have a target time. And there's a truth that no one talks about in the family. At reunion, this is never discussed. No one mentions it in the WhatsApp group. No one wants to admit that it exists. And they don't want to talk to their children. And you get uncomfortable. with talking to them, notwithstanding you got comfortable with the situation that you're in. The cold became bearable. Distance became normal. The homesickness that you had before, you started to ignore it. And you kept saying, soon, I'll soon come home, man. Just wait, next year I'm going to retire. Or just wait for more years. You soon kept getting further away. This is not a failure. This is human. This happens when you're busy trying to survive in a place like America or England or Canada or somewhere else, building a life, raising children who don't know your accent, creating memories in a place that you never intended to make your home. But then something happens. Something always happens to shake our minds. It happens about when you're 50 or about 45, 50, 55, sometimes 60. Or I would say not really earlier. You go home to a wedding and a funeral and you walk into a district that you grew up, you played marble, you played dandy shandy, you played ring games, you had fun, you rolled tires, and you realize it's hard for you to recognize people in that community. The children you used to play with, when you look around, they are big adults. They're now grandparents. And by the way, some of them already buried. And someone looks at you and say, sir, we never know, say, you're going to come back here, That's when it hits you. Because a friend is saying to you, they didn't know that you were going to come back. And let me say to you at this point, you're a visitor in your own district. The place that you came, the place that you shoot birds, you had fun, you went to the river. But there are 5 stages of diaspora awakening. And I want to take you there because I myself have gone through looking at these stages. The first stage is denial. You're saying soon. If someone said to me, I soon come, I'm wondering what's the time they're coming, especially on a Jamaican term. Still planning that retirement home you'd build one day and you have not started. So what are you waiting for? Still believing that your children might want to come with you. Another thing that you might be saying to yourself, you're building for your children. I'd ask you to ask them if they are going to come back to live in Jamaica. Notwithstanding, based on the context of where we are now, that's all possible. Still thinking that you have unlimited time. Think about life expectancy. Think about where you are and what you want to do. 2, you're bargaining. You make a deal with yourself. You say, what, I'm going to go back next 6 months. Split the time. 6 months here, 6 months there. And in the midst of that, you say to yourself, I have to take care of my grandchildren. And I'll leave and wait until they get older. Always conditions. Always reasons to delay that going back home. And the stage 3 is reckoning. The stage 3 is recognizing. It usually comes with, or the day of reckoning. It comes with awakening as it relates to a health scare. Suddenly you realize that the body that worked 3 and 4 jobs just to survive and send things home and to live in the America that you say American dream has its limits. The body can take so much and no more. The body has an expiration date. So now, how long can you work in the cold? And let me say, you have made yourself a promise. You can't stop until you have accomplished certain things. So you struggle through the snow, and it's tough. However, a friend called you one day to tell you that he recently had a stroke, and that wakes you up. He said he spent a couple of days in the hospital, and he has spent over 40 years working and saving money to go back home. The home is not built, so he needs to take care of himself. And stage 4 is grief. You mourn the life that you didn't live, the community that you didn't nurture, the relationships that you let fade, the children that don't speak the mother tongue, the grandchildren who will never taste a piece of breadfruit of the tree. This grief is real. The grief is valued because most of us carry it alone. Stage 5 is a choice. This is where we are today. Stage 5. It's not about regret. It's about clarity. It stops when you stop asking, should I go back, and start asking some critical questions. What do I really want? Do you really want to live in the United States, England, or Canada, or do you want to go back home? Going back home is not the only answer, because you might decide to stay in the United States. But planning is not the answer either. So let me ask you some hard questions. Do you have a place to go that you call home at this point? An actual place where you could sleep? Do you have a support system? People would ask for you if you did not show up for a service? If something happens to you, will they know what to do? Can you afford to go home? Have you done the maths yet? It's not fantasy. These are questions that will save you from ending up in a problem alone. Planning is not giving up. Planning is love. Planning is wisdom. Planning is what we should be doing. First, you must have the conversation with your spouse and your children and your siblings back home. And I always talk about this, checking in regularly and honestly with people. Where will you live if you go back home? Who will support you? How will you pay for going back home? What will happen if you get sick? These are questions you have to ask. And third, start right now. If you want to go back home, build connections. Connections are so important. Go home more often, stay longer, invest in relationships in Jamaica, reconnect with people you have not connected with. If you want to stay abroad, that's fine too. Build community. And of course, make your wishes clear. Fourth, don't be guilty. It's not a failure not to go back. You're not a traitor if you don't do that. Make the best decision in your view. What's best for you, for your health and safety and your needs in your older age. And don't start with a funeral, because you're not going to die now. But you want to ensure that you live. So plan to live. But let us say, we have to help each other along the way. Time does not pause because you migrate. The clock is ticking for all of us. The question is whether you are running out of time. You will, of course. But the question is, what do you do with the time that you have now? Will you start planning now? Will you start having the conversations needed now? Not just say wait, because wait is problematic. It's not about any other day. You can start today. Put it on your calendar, because I think it's important that if you're going back to Jamaica, you start your plan. But remember, the clock is ticking. Thanks, and please remember to subscribe.
52 years gone. The man came back, but only in a casket. This is not his failure. This is our story. Left Jamaica when him 23 and strong. Suitcase full of dreams, say him won't be long. Just a few years we save some money, then I'm coming back. But few years turn to decades on that one-way track. Send barrels, send money, order, send vice note too. But the children born in Brooklyn never really knew where their grandmother lived or where their father grew. Now him come back home, but the journey overdue. One day is not on the calendar, no. One day keep moving further, so time don't wait for the migrant man. Time don't respect your master plan. Soon turn into never if you don't take a stand. One day is not on the calendar. We got comfortable with the cold and distant land. Homesickness turned to dull ache. We learn to understand. Mortgages signed, careers built, children raised away. Home became a place we visit, not where we stay. Walk through the district, don't recognize a face. Children you played with now have grandchildren in their place. Somebody look and say, Lord, me never expect to see you. That's when you realize you became a visitor to one day. It's not on the calendar, no. One day keep moving further, so time don't wait for the migrant soul. Dreams defer, take their toll. You're saving for a life you'll never control. One day is not on the calendar. 5 stages through. Denial, bargaining, reckoning too. Grief for the life we didn't live. Then the choice we have to give. 64 years old, first stroke come true. 40 years of saving, now it's hospital bills due. No house in Jamaica, no community there. Just memories of a promise floating in the air. But this is not about regret, it's about clarity now. Stop asking should I, start asking how. Where will you sleep, who will check when you're sick? The clock is ticking and it's ticking quick. One day is not on the calendar, no. One day keep moving further, so have the conversation, don't wait until it's late. Build the connections, don't leave it up to fate. Whether you go back or you stay, make your plans today, today, today. Planning is not giving up. Planning is love. Planning is wisdom. You are not a failure if you don't go back. You are not a traitor if you do. The question is not whether you'll run out of time. You will. The question is, what will you do with the time you have left? Start the conversation today, not one day. Today. Today, one day is not on the calendar. Not on the calendar.